We are fighting bin Laden's al-Qaeda in Iraq. Iraq is central to the war on terror. And against this enemy, America can accept nothing less than complete victory.
Okay, we're back inside. Welcome back to Hardball. Of course, it was raining outside here at Hardball Plaza, our second day in a row of having our show outside. We're looking at it right now. See, that's the scene outside this building right now. By the way, we're only about 2 blocks from the U.S. Capitol right now. And, of course, we have to move inside because of the rain. You just saw Sam Waterston, just to make it clear. It's how videotape works. We started the show live tonight. Then we went to tape what we did with Sam Waterston yesterday on a beautiful hot day. And now we're back inside here today with 3 parts of the show. Outdoor in the rain. Outdoor yesterday in the sunshine, now indoor in the rain. Anyway, joined again by 2 very important people. They're Iraqi war veterans, Pete Hegseth, who's a Vets for Freedom, and Jon Soltz, he's with VoteVets.com. Well, you come from different sides of the argument, but you both came from serving our country, and I thank you both. Pete, this question, you're talking to the American people right now, several 100,000 people right now. Talk to them about how long you think the war is going to last. I mean, it seems to me you can't just throw out an indefinite argument. We stay there as long as there's al-Qaeda in Iraq, because everybody assumes there's going to be al-Qaeda there and everywhere else in the Arab world as long as we live. There's always been pockets of al-Qaeda. They don't like us. They're extremists. We probably have them in this country in various cities. We're not going to put our army into Detroit, because we know there's some al-Qaeda there. So what's this war look like? Describe the war that's coming.
Should we have asked the same question in World War II if it had taken more than 4 years to finish the Nazis? Should we have said, you know what, it's 4.5 years, it's 4.5 years, 5 years, 6 years. You know what, we need to stop and just give in to Hitler. We just need to give in to fanatical
killers. Get to Berlin, get to Tokyo.
We have a very clear plan now with General Petraeus.
Well, what is the plan?
Is secure the population to give Iraqi government an opportunity to provide security.
So you have confidence that government will deliver?
They have not delivered the way they should, but should we just step back and let them collapse?
They're on vacation. Well, the Iraqi government's on vacation. We have our kids spilling their blood in Baghdad every day for a plan that's never going to add up. We need 160,000 combat troops just for Baghdad alone. We have 150,000 troops, not even combat troops, for the entire country. So when we stabilize one part of the country, we move to another part. There are men that have already died for this terrain. When I was in Baghdad in 2003, we controlled terrain that we are fighting for today. And we're going to keep playing this game. This is a long, long war. We're going to be in this war 20, 25 years against Islamic extremism. We've got to fight it other ways. We've got to invest in a public school system in Pakistan. We have to defeat al-Qaeda in Pakistan. We have got to redeploy our troops from Iraq because it is a civil war, and it is the beginning of the Iranian expansion.
How do you deal with the civil war over there? We're in the middle of it. How do you deal with it?
The tool for al-Qaeda would be their victory, first of all. As far as the civil war, the biggest accelerant.
Absolutely. But if it's simply a question, are we in a holding action over there?
No, absolutely not.
If we leave in 5 years from now, will it be any different?
If we apply the strategy
we're applying now, if we stay the way we're fighting now for 5 years,
I think
how will it be different?
Seen it in Ramadi.
How will it be different?
You have a government that can control Baghdad and therefore can bring peace and denies haven to al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda's already been driven out of Diyala, and the people there haven't seen attacks for weeks. The same things I'm talking about Ramadi. It's happening in Diyala.
And you have confidence in the Iraqi people's willingness to forge a unity government? You have confidence in that.
Sets the military conditions for it. We can't pass things on Capitol Hill, Social Security, critical things that we can't.
Yeah, we don't blow each other. I hate this argument. Let me tell you why I hate this argument. Because the Republican Party doesn't have a militia with guns, and they don't go to the Democratic side of the House and set up a car bomb. No. I mean, these people are fighting a war. We are having a political debate in this country. To compare the political debate in the United States of America with car bombs in Iraq between Iraqi militias and Iranian interventions.
How can we
let me ask you,
the biggest recruiting
tool over there, I have it, so I want to ask you a question. When we went into this war, Vice President Cheney came on television to meet the press, mainly, and he made the case that Saddam Hussein, who was then leading Iraq, had a nuclear weapon, was going to use it against us. Was that a true story?
For the history books at this point, whether or not he had,
true or not,
that was a lie.
Saddam Hussein had
a nuclear weapon was going to use it against us.
I have no idea.
You think he might have had a nuclear weapon?
At this point, it's irrelevant.
No, I'm trying to get at whether you can rely on this administration's veracity. From the beginning.
Can we rely on General Petraeus? Can we rely on his strategy?
When this administration took us to war, a lot of Americans supported this war because they thought that there were nuclear weapons in the hand of Saddam Hussein. They were led to believe that by the vice president. A lot of Americans believed that somehow Iraq had a hand in attacking us on 9/11. They still believe that. Almost half the Americans believe that. We've been getting a lot of misinformation, a lot of indoctrination now for 5 years. Why do you now believe in what we're hearing from the administration?
Because of the General Petraeus
has the right strategy. You keep saying General Petraeus like he's the head of the government. We're getting this information from the Defense Department, from the Bush administration. Everything you hear from General Petraeus comes through the Defense Department and through the President.
I read it through John Burns on the front page of the New York Times, and he shows me that progress is happening in Anbar Province. I was there in 2005, 2006. I saw what could happen when you apply counterinsurgency.
But you keep talking like the military makes policy questions.
It's so tactical. It's so tactical.
The military doesn't make decisions. He's got a mission given to him by the President.
And why doesn't he begin
when
giving
you put troops on the ground, you're going to get more checkpoints. I would never argue that. When you put more troops on the ground, you're going to get more checkpoints. You're going to get, a better sense of security. But you don't have the amount of forces. 90% of our army is allocated to the war in Iraq. It's absolutely true. You have, the military completely overextended. 90% of your military is absolutely allocated to Iraq.
Members in armed service
you have
in the army. There are 160,000 in Iraq. That's a flat-out lie.
We're the fighting force of the United States.
You have 10 divisions in the army.
They're training. 9 are going. They're National Guardsmen. They're reservists. They're active duty folks. This is the kind of stuff that's come out of VoteVets for a long time.
That's why vets get this is a lie. You have 10 component fighting divisions in the army. 10 active component fighting divisions. 9 of them are either in Iraq, coming home, or going to Iraq, with the exception of the 2nd Infantry Division that's in Korea, and then a division platform that we have in Afghanistan.
VoteVets, backed by MoveOn.org, has had an opportunity.
This is the guy that stands with the President of the United States, and as of the poll this morning, 38%, only 38% of the military, front page of the Washington Post, first front page of the Washington Post, 38% of people who served in Iraq and military members support George W. Bush. Front page of the Washington Post. Independent poll.
Look at what is happening with re-enlistment.
I can't affect the paradigm shift in American politics.
Who have fought there. They're re-enlisting at record rates because they believe in the mission and believe we can
finish it.
The
Army recruiting was down 16% last month and the month before.
I'm talking about
George W. Bush has destroyed the Army.
If we elect a hawkish presidential candidate next year, by the way, this all comes down to the voters. It's not you decide or I'm deciding.
Sure.
The voters will decide what kind of administration to put in office next year. They'll either put in someone who's going to move toward getting our troops out of there, or someone who will keep the complement of troops we have there and even strengthen them. If we have a tough hardliner as our next president, do you believe that person will win the war in Iraq?
I believe if we continue the strategy that we've got, they may have the potential to. Yes,
I want to play
if we continue to.
See,
I don't have a crystal ball, but all I know is we can apply the best tactics and the best army we've got toward this enemy that is real and vicious, and that's what we're doing.
Seek it?
It is a winnable mission. It absolutely is a winnable mission. We've stopped the accelerants on the Civil War. That's calming down, and we need to bring the political process along. And the only way to do that is to create the military condition.
He says if we stay there, we have a good chance of winning that war against Al-Qaeda.
But the fundamental difference between
you say we don't.
Yeah, absolutely. The fundamental difference between Vets for Freedom and VoteVets.org is they want to play in civil war in Iraq, and we want to kill bin Laden.
No.
We want to defeat the people that attacked this
country on 9/11. We want to kill the guys that are allied
They're in Afghanistan and Pakistan.
Iraq.
These guys want to play games in the Shia revolution.
I don't want to kill bin Laden?
They want to,
are you kidding me?
You're distracted. You've got 90% of our military in the wrong spot in the world.
That's a lie.
This is about 9/11.
These are the facts that VoteVets has brought out for years.
By the way, this is a little disorganized in a way, but I think everybody at home hears the argument. You say we shouldn't be in Iraq. You say we should.
I think we need to win.
We'll be right back. By the way, thank you, Pete Hegseth, and thank you, Jon Soltz. Thank you, by the way, for your service, and thank you for your argument. Because